This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. One of the results of the House Select Committee's investigation into the insurrection was a criminal referral to the DOJ. We'll see how that goes. Gives the DOJ kind of a head start, a jumping off place with all of the evidence that they've gathered, all of the under oath, sworn under penalty of perjury testimony that they've received, that they took, but also the transcripts of that testimony. And I'm going to read a little bit from this New York Times, a couple of select paragraphs from this New York Times story entitled "Trying to Trademark Rigged Election and Other Revelations from the January 6 Transcripts." The January 6 committee released a whirlwind of documents in its final days and wrapped up its work on Monday. And there are several. This is a long article. I'll put it down in the description below if you want to read the entire thing. But there are certain things that I think need to be addressed and talked about. We're coming off of a cycle of journalists being on vacation and news anchors, and it seems like it's a slow news time, but it's not. It's just that the people who are delivering the news in your corporate media landscape are taking a vacation, and then things don't seem as important when they absolutely are. So I'm going to cover 4 things here. And I believe this tells a story of what we can look forward to this year relative to Donald Trump and accountability. The first is a senior military advisor said Mr. Trump seemed to acknowledge his defeat. And the reason this is important is because to really have a rock solid case against Donald Trump, looking for, needing consequence, legal consequence, they need to prove that he knew the election wasn't stolen from him, that he lost the election, and then with that knowledge in mind, went forward and tried to reverse the results. That will be the ironclad case. From the New York Times here, in a 302-page transcript of his interview with the committee, General Mark Milley, the voluble chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, told the panel about a meeting in the Oval Office a few weeks after Election Day, in which he said Mr. Trump seemed to acknowledge he was not going to be sworn in again. General Milley described Mr. Trump saying words to the effect of, "Yeah, we lost. We need to let that issue go to the next guy," meaning President Biden. That statement, built on other evidence in the committee, spent significant time documenting that Mr. Trump was aware he had lost, but continued to falsely claim otherwise. At one point, General Milley suggested it might have been another advisor who said it, but stated, when asked again, that it was Mr. Trump. General Milley also recalled seeing the Nazi imagery in the crowd on January 6th and saying to his staff, "These guys look like the brown shirts. To me, this looks like the Reichstag moment." Look, this coming from a reputable figure in American history, General Milley, is a big thing, and it won't be taken lightly by the Department of Justice. Losing my voice. And directly as a result of this, or in line with, once that is proven that he knew, then his actions come into clearer focus relative to criminality. Donald Trump was directly involved in the false elector scheme, is the next set of paragraphs that I'm going to read. And the reason this is important, because if he knew, and then he was involved directly with the false elector scheme, that is entering into a criminal conspiracy, a felony, with a decade or more due him in prison for each count of criminal conspiracy. Mr. Trump personally involved himself in the false elector scheme, according to Ronna McDaniel, the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. Ms. McDaniel recounted a call after the election in which Mr. Trump introduced her to John Eastman, the lawyer who wrote the now infamous memo that laid out a path for the former president to remain in power. Mr. Eastman, she said, then spoke about how he believed it was important for the committee to help the Trump campaign gather these contingent electors, she said. So Donald Trump knew he had lost the election, and instead of allowing for a quick and seamless transition of the Biden administration, he enlisted the help of the Republican National Committee and introduced the Republican National Committee to John Eastman, the anti-democratic lawyer from California who was the architect of this entire thing. And then this, which blew my mind when I learned this, that Donald Trump wanted to trademark the phrase rigged election because it's about the grift for our grifter charlatan in chief. He wanted to trademark to make money off of it. During the tumultuous post-election period, Mr. Trump and his team worked intensely at raising money, bringing in hundreds of millions, while trying to register trademarks about fighting election results, the transcripts show. In one recent transcript, the committee revealed an email from Dan Scavino Jr., a deputy White House chief of staff to Jared Kushner, and also former caddy of Donald Trump. He's not just the social media guy or deputy chief of staff to Jared Kushner. He's the former golf caddy of Donald Trump. The president's son-in-law and advisor titled POTUS Requests. Hey, Jared, POTUS wants to trademark own rights to below. I don't know who to see or ask because I'm just a caddy. That's my addition there. I don't know who to take to, the email states, before providing two bolded terms. Save America PAC, with an exclamation mark, and rigged election, with an exclamation mark. And then Jared Kushner responds with this. Guys, can we do ASAP, please? I mean, where's rock bottom for Republicans? Where's the bottom? You know, they talk about people who are suffering through addiction, and that when they find their bottom, their rock bottom, that's when they seek help. And that I would ask the same question of Republicans. Where is your bottom? Where is rock bottom for you? What is too far for Donald Trump or other elected leaders to go, where you will start questioning their duty to the country, their loyalty to the country, the oath that they took to support the Constitution? And then finally, this is about Steve Bannon and how he continued, this is the header here, Bannon continued to agitate. Steve Bannon he's already a disgraced figure in American history, but he is backing up after the insurrection. He's still imploring people, millions of people in this case, to go to the Capitol and surround the United States Capitol silently, do it silently, as though that's not an ominous, threatening measure to be taken. Reading again from the New York Times, Stephen Bannon, an outside advisor to Mr. Trump, continued to endorse extreme tactics even after the violence on January 6th. On January 8th, 2021, he wrote in a text message to his spokeswoman, Alexandra Priet, I don't know who she is or how to say her name, that he wanted 1 million people to surround the Capitol after Mr. Biden was seated in the White House. Quote, I'd surround the Capitol in total silence, Mr. Bannon wrote, according to a transcript of Miss Priet's interview. Mr. Bannon also advised that Mr. Trump should have nothing to do with Patrick Byrne, the wealthy businessman, the former CEO and founder of Overstock.com, Patrick Byrne, who financed efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Steve Bannon once told me, he said, Patrick Byrne's crazy and he should not be on stage with Donald Trump, Miss Priet testified. So look, there are thousands and thousands of pages that need to be sifted through to get to some of the more salient issues to focus on. For me, I thought it was funny, the stupid trademark thing, but it goes to the heart and the mind and the priority of Donald Trump to trademark something, to use it for financial gain. That's really what this is about. We've also learned after the tax returns came out that Donald Trump paid $750 for 2 different years. He had foreign bank accounts in China after he explicitly said he didn't have them, that he had closed them. He is just a grifter and a liar, and it's becoming more and more and more clear, which again leads me to the question, where's the bottom? Where's rock bottom for Republicans? Maybe they don't have one. Where do you think it is? You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4567. 4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. If I'm your flavor of political commentator, if I'm not, go support somebody else. But if I bring you value, click that join button. See what's involved to become a channel member. For $1.99 a month, you can become a channel member, helping support and produce the videos I do right here. Or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast, or you can buy some merch. There's all kinds of ways to support the channel and the mission, the stated objective, preserving democracy. It's going to be a tough fight this year. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.